Well, we got 10 whole miles on the Gremlin yesterday. Been running pretty good. However, it started making a pretty nasty clinking sound. And by that, we quit driving it. Let's see where we at here. I'd say that U-joint needs to get replaced. I got to pull the drive line out of the yoke out of the transmission. So it's kind of dark in there, but anyways, got to pull the yoke out of the transmission as you do on most cars. So I got the back end of the Gremlin in the air as high as I can get it. So it's at an angle, and then my garage floor slopes that way. So hopefully when I pull the drive line, I don't spill a bunch of transmission oil out. So I get a new drive line or new U-joint in it, and change the oil. And heck, I think we can actually go put some miles on this car. It's running really good. So we get that pulled out, and we'll try to get a U-joint changed. Well, I should have bought 2 new U-joints, but that one's not actually loose. But you know, since I've got to replace this front one, I should replace that other one. But they only had one in stock. Imagine that. It's probably the most common U-joint in the world. Probably used on every Chevy and probably most Fords. But anyways, she was definitely going out. Now there's a lot of special tools you can get to do U-joints. You know, because you don't want to mess with them and knock your little needle bearings loose when you're trying to hammer them together. It's better to press them together in a vise or a big clamp or something. So I'll probably load it up on my vise to put them in, but you know, if you're in a real pinch, you can use a hammer and a socket. You just gotta be really careful, and it usually doesn't work out very good, but I have had to do that before, the old hammer and socket routine, but we're gonna try to avoid that on this. So let me get these clips out and get this U-joint out of here. Now, I like this old wore out one here. It's definitely been wore out for a while, and I don't know, it could be the original one, but who knows. But anyways, the new ones, they have a grease zerd in them, so you can at least keep your caps greased. So pretty much both of these are pretty much done. So I got the yoke cleaned up, and I like to go ahead and kind of sand and clean out the bores where the caps are going to go. Makes everything a little easier to put together. Did it on this side too. And try to do this without dropping pins everywhere. So you kind of have to get them started. You may have to take both caps off on this, I don't know. But anyways, you got to kind of get them started and then slip them down and put your cap on and all that stuff. So let me get it all kind of put together, and we'll see which way we'll put the U-joint in, the hammer way or the vise clamp way. If you're going to be lazy and do it the hammer way, like I said, if you clean up your bore really good, these caps go in pretty easily. Not too much force required on them. So basically I had to take both caps off and stick the U-joint in there, and then stick this cap on and shove the U-joint up in it so the pins didn't fall out. And then I just lightly tapped on it with the hammer while pushing pressure up on this. Anyway, so As soon as I got it in here, I just tapped it down about halfway through the retaining clip. Then I put my other cap on, and that should keep it, while you're kind of tapping on this, that should keep the pins from falling out. You know, like I said, it's not rocket science. It's just lightly tapping on that until you get it all tight, and then obviously you'll know if a pin falls because your gasket won't be tight when it's all the way down. But you get that all the way tight, and then you can smash it, put the pin in this side, or the retainer clip on in this side, and hammer it all the way down, and then you should be able to get your other retainer on, and then do the same thing on the other side. Like I said, the new U-joints, they're not wider, they're just better, so you have to take both caps off to get them in there. So, alright, well, I'm going to get this one put together and we'll bring it back. Okay, with the few light taps, she's seated down pretty good. No pins fell out because we don't have any gaps or anything. So I got the retainer clip in on this side. And I doubt I'll be able to do all this one-handed. But let's see, maybe I can make a little makeshift stand here. Now you'll get the idea. And then you get it all the way seated down so you can get your other clip in, like so. And that's kind of the hammer technique. I mean, it's not really a technique, it's just how you can do it with a hammer instead of having a fancy vise and all that, a little C-clamp and stuff. But I've had to do this on the side of the road before, the hammer and socket, so it does work. If you're in a big hurry though, you're gonna drop pins and have a lot of problems, so it's always best to not be in a super big hurry. Okay, so try to show it a little better on this side. So once you get your U-joint kind of in there, you want to be nice and easy, and just kind of get your cap setting in there, and then push your U-joint all the way up. And then you're going to have to kind of keep pressure on your U-joint upwards while you tap that in a little bit. Well, you want to go about halfway in so you have enough of your U-joint sticking out this way to stick that cap on this side, and have enough bite in there so the little pins can't rattle out. So we'll get this one done and get the drive line back in, and that U-joint will be done. Well, we'll put a little more grease in it, then it'll be done. Well, if everything went right, then you should have a U-joint in place, and you shouldn't have had to get off the floor. So I just used, to get them out, I just have this old socket that I've been using as some sort of press and hammer, chisel, punch, and all kinds of stuff. But anyways, I just used that for the old U-joint to get it out with a 11/16 socket. Smash those out using that socket, and then, like I said, if you clean your bore up really good and make sure it's nice and shiny and not pitted and got a bunch of debris in it and stuff, you could just tap on them and they'll slide right in. And just using the same 11/16 socket, just tapped them in, pair of needle nose pliers, and this job, well, with the videotaping, took me about 10 minutes to do all of this, so not too bad on what was there. We'll throw a little grease in it and get it bolted back up in the car. And the next thing I'm going to do is change the oil on it, because it probably needs to be changed. Well, you know you got a bad valve cover gasket when you're pouring oil in it and oil starts seeping up out of here. Well, just something we'll have to fix on the way. That's from me spilling my pouring oil in it. I'm gonna run 1540 in it just because, you know, why not? This motor's probably got 1,000,000 miles on it, and got a new oil filter on it. I rebuilt the carburetor a couple episodes ago. It's been running really good now, so hopefully it's not mixing gas and oil like it was, because that gas right there smells horrible, and I think it's got a quart of gas in it too. But anyway, so it's kind of a nice day out. I mean, not the greatest, but good enough for a Sunday Mother's Day drive. So happy Mother's Day to everybody, and I think that's going to wrap it up on the U-joint oil change and go run the Gremlin around a little bit video. So might take some footage of driving around. The wife is going to pretty much drive me around. I'm not going to drive it, so she's pretty anxious to go run it around some more. So till the next episode, thanks for watching. It's a Grammy on its maiden voyage to Belgrade. Will it make it 9 miles? Will it? Chelsea?
A lot of fun driving.
Even put on a fancy steering wheel cover. Alright, well, we're gonna get on the road and get going. We'll let you know if we break down. So far, so good. We've only been passed a few times. We're keeping her at 50 just because it's where it seems to like to run. I mean, I'm not expecting it to be a speed demon with a all crusty. I think it's got the smallest straight 6 to 232 in it or something. But so far, so good. Nothing's blown up yet. Fingers crossed. I'm kind of liking roadkill. No gauges, no problems. We're about halfway to Belgrade. So, I like a smart car. Well, we made it to Goodwill. Decided to come to Goodwill since it's open and see if there's any treasures. So, I guess the Gremlin is good enough to make it. Well, just a couple